Can you walk into traffic without being scared? Maybe if you knew your time is not up yet. But how could you know that? Change one rule in life and everything changes. Imagine a world where every person is born with a death date. It floats above your head. Whenever someone looks at you, it's there. You cannot hide it. You cannot remove it. You cannot change it. Everyone knows how much time you have left. It's right there. Your expiry is written, like packaged goods at the supermarket. And once people know the exact date they die, danger doesn't feel like danger anymore. A man afraid of heights might try skydiving, not because the fear of heights is gone, but because he knows that he won't die today. And someone who fears water might decide to swim alone in the ocean just because his expiry is 30 years away. But here's the catch: not dying is not the same as being safe. You may not die in the ocean, but you could still catch hypothermia, damage your lungs, or lose a limb to a shark attack. You may not die in a car accident, but you can still break bones. You may survive a failed parachute, but live another 30 years with multiple scars, a broken back, or brain damage. So fear does not disappear, it mutates. The thought changes from, this might kill me, to how badly can I survive this? And that would make life very different from how we see it. The risks in life change, and then families would change. Because now you know how long everyone has. Every family member has a number floating. Dad has 30, mom 38, the elder sibling has 64, and the younger one just 12. It became uncomfortable the day the younger one was born. Everything was fine until the number appeared. The fear of loss crept in. All the plans, all the celebrations, the joy of a new family member, all gone. So, do we treat the younger one as fragile? Or should we let him live a happy, free life? No school, no boundaries. What would the impact be on the elder one? How do you love your baby brother when you know you're already preparing to lose him? Even baby showers would change. Gender reveals will be replaced by death date reveals. Imagine a happy couple standing with balloons. Everyone is smiling. Someone pops one, and a giant number appears over the heap of presents. The room goes silent. The number is 2. The baby would be gone before it even learned its own name. Grandma cries. Friends hug the couple. And then come the fake comfort stories, such as maybe the event planner put the wrong number in there. The doctors sometimes misjudge the tests. The actual date is always more than the reveal date. Surprisingly, even in a world where the truth floats above your head, people still need lies to survive trauma. And family planning is done around the numbers above your head. But what about friends? Soulmates? People would start choosing people by how long they have left, not by the age or looks or interests, but how much life they have left. Dating apps would not just show age, height, city, hobbies. They would show the death date. But why? Because nobody wants a long grief gap. The number of years you have to live after losing someone. Someone might say, I really like you, but your date is too far from mine. And somehow that will sound practical. Love will change. Of course, some people would still follow their heart, but many would start choosing love, friendship, and gym buddies by death dates. Some people would choose short timers because they live faster. No games, no waiting. Just fun, love, food, travel, fights, laughter. Time that would be well spent knowing the date it ends. Others would avoid them completely because loving someone who is going to die soon is like buying a bunch of roses that are already withering. You know it's going to make you sad, so you choose to stay away. So, yes, dating and love will change drastically. We might see more couples with strange age gaps. You might choose someone your parents' age, not because your interests match, but because your endings do. Then comes discrimination. And we humans, like always, will make it ugly. Discrimination on race, color, caste, class, passport, all of it would still exist. But one new thing would st above everything: years left. Long timers would become premium people. Short timers might become risky people. And the last year people, they would become either holy, dangerous, wanted, or unwanted, depending on the situation. Landlords and banks would avoid them. Families would protect them, treat them like precious gems. And then there would be restaurants who usually try to disguise business as charity. They would offer final meal discounts and act like that is kindness. Society would stop caring about who you are. and start caring about when you're done. People will all be products with unique expiry dates. And work would change too. Your CV would have experience and time to offer, both mentioned side by side. Someone with an experience of 10 years and time left of 42 years becomes a really strong candidate. But a genius with only 2 years left before expiry, a normal company may reject him. Too short term. But an investor with hunger in his eyes, he would love such a short timer genius. Because short timers move fast. They take wild calls. They do not care about reputation in 30 years. They build, burn, risk, launch, fail, and still try again. Because they only have so much time left. So while the banks would love long timers, the hungry investor sharks would chase short timers. This is how twisted this world would get. And what about hospitals? Do they disappear? No, they find a new purpose. If a date is fixed, doctors don't have to fight death. They fight damage, pain, weakness, repairing broken bodies that still have decades left. All the medical research would explode around one question: can the date be extended? Nobody knows if it can, but that would not stop money. Rich people would fund labs, fake doctors would sell hope, new spiritual gurus would emerge to cleanse people of the date aura. Of course, nothing works. You wear a cap, the date shows. You cover your face, it still shows. You pay someone to remove it, it still shows. Reality does not care about your privacy. And what about businesses? They would change. The biggest impact would be life insurance. You don't need it anymore. The uncertainty is gone, and new crazy businesses would start growing everywhere. Death date reveal event planners, grief cap helping apps, last year travel packages, short timer adventure clubs, and then there will be scams. Date hiding scams, date modification scams, because humans will sell anything once they find a fear attached to it. And there's a very fun thing that will happen. People will plan their own going away parties. The last hurrah. Goodbyes will change. You will invite your friends, your colleagues, your exes, your neighbors. And before your death date is done, you will finally get a chance to meet everyone important. People will finally get the closure they have always longed for. And that, for a lot of people, would be highly satisfying. But with the death date being known, here is the most important question: who lives better, short timers or long timers? Some short timers would stop waiting, stop pretending, stop saving every good thing or desire for later. They would explore the world, do adventure sports, date a lot, eat their hearts out, and maybe experiment with drinks and drugs. They would not live life in despair or fear because they got less time. But some would not. Some would spend their remaining years angry, bitter, frozen, watching other people's longer dates like insults floating in the air. They will grieve and fight with everyone, resent going out or seeing people. And the long timers? Some would build beautiful lives, slow, deep, patient lives, lives full of purpose, lives that serve humanity. But many would waste years because they have a lot of time on their hands. They would delay living because the number above the head kept saying, relax, you have time. And that might actually be the weirdest part. A short life can scare you into living, a long life can trick you into waiting. So if a death date appeared tomorrow, what would actually change? Would you become brave or careless? Would you use your time or waste it waiting or resenting? Because maybe knowing your death date would not tell you how to live. Maybe it would only show you what you were avoiding. Because some people are not living right now. And it's not because they don't want to. They're waiting because they think life is long. Because the death date is not visible above their heads. And that could be tomorrow.